What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 56 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Thorgrim Grudgebearer Old World campaign. So as we saw last time, Thorgrim and his bodyguards stood short against the onslaught of the Vampire Tide and obliterated Manfred von Karstein's main stack. His faction is pretty much done for, and just a matter of time until we move towards the last settlements and wipe them out. I am still, and again, impressed by the Guardians of the Valley, who managed to keep and take so much territory for themselves, and certainly why we want to keep the faction around and owning the desert to the south of us. Good sort of guards just below the southern worlds edge, especially considering it was Mahrak that had taken mountainous territories, which we can't have. Anyway, in terms of what we gotta do this time, well, we're gonna start this episode off with a little bit of a switcheroo at last, at long suffering last. Bruce has become on a level with Castle Drakenfels, which means, if I can find it, Bruce and Drakenfels can be traded for a little bit of extra cash, and that's just fine. Bordelot Errant can use it to, why isn't this green? We're at 3,100, dude. Come on, man. Yeah, we'll trade this. Finally. There we go, and then this will... Heralds of Area lost their outpost. Well, you know what? It's probably better for them not to have an outpost just outside of Athaloran. Better that they don't see what's going to happen. Anyway, and then we can freely trade Castle Brienne and then all of these territories, or whichever one of them, for Hellspire. Hellspire... How about for Vifan? Yes, you know, like that, and... Oh, I should have probably had you declare war on a million factions as well. Let's do that. No, you're... Okay, no, not that. You're perfectly willing to continue to do that, yes? Yep, looks like he's willing to declare war on everybody. Beautiful. Why, thank you, Alberic. That'll come in handy. Lovely. Alright, and while we're at it, let's, well, we might as well completely now restore Brettonian, because that was the last territory that we were looking to get from them, and thus we're looking good. First of all, we're going to delete this stuff here for obvious reasons. I can keep the Ranger Barracks. Sounds like we care about this place actually generating money. I can keep the Monument to Grimnir mainly. You know what? I'll just upgrade this. I'm not going to bother building the Runesmith building here. It'll be fine. We will, however, want to build defenses here. Oh, because we'll want to build defenses here, we'll probably want to actually demolish this Ranger building. If we want... Yeah, screw it. No, just leave it. We will, however, want the trading depot everywhere, and the mine and the public order building, which will actually not get... Well, it's fine, it's fine. Everything's fine. Nobody panic. Yeah. Yeah. Alrighty. Then, now that that's done, we will want to trade this. Brienne Murat, Castle Brienne, and... Castle Grand Set. Alright, so, Castle Brienne, enjoy. Castle Grand Set, enjoy. And the last one was Muret. Like so. Muret is yours, and there we go. Now everything... Okay, wait, -1 settlement. Oh, sorry, Cult of Ulrich. Everything north of the river remains Brettonian, and south is a mix of Imperials and Southern Realmers, which is good. You can also have Raisel, which is in your starting territory, like so. Beautiful. We are keeping the Bearers of Quila, the Massive Orcal, to ourselves. One, we can't trust the Umgi not to allow the orcs to revive themselves, and it's a little hilly territory to overlook. And what's going on down here? Then Theraville can also go to these guys. Like so. Beautiful. And then everything north of the river, like Gisoro, can now be given to Kuran because we don't need anything from them. We've already given them the marches of Kuran. We've given them back the territory that had been conquered by the Sigmarsheim faction. We're looking good. So Castle Gisoro, we'll start with you. Oh, we can't give it to you. Okay, fine. This we can do, and then we can have you declare war on everybody. Gotta keep everybody else nice and friendly by forcing them to attack other enemies and not fighting each other. Lovely. And now we should be able to give you Castle Gisoro. And nobody else to declare war on, so you can just join, or you can just have it for free. Castle Longac, was it? Langueur de Lac. Okay, I don't know why I combined it that way. Langueur de Lac, you can have that. And then lastly, you can have Castle de Fleuve. Like so.
Clever.
Alright, now, actually that's a question. Does Fort Berg-Bray or Fort Berg-Brus, should it belong to the Empire or to Brettonian? You know what, Brettonian will have... You know what, maybe we'll give this to Kuhan as well. Because this way, if we give Axebite Pass, look, we'll give Axebite Pass to the irregular Empire. What? What? You're telling me we can't give it to you? Okay, what if we give you Aleheart? And have you join the wars? All the wars. There we go. Alright, give you Aleheart, then we'll give you Axebite Pass. We still can't... What the heck? Wait, why can't we give you Axebite Pass? You're clearly bordering it. Game, you're being crazy here. I guess it wants us to give this to Brettonian? Huh. You know what, maybe we give them... Okay, let's give them Schilderheim as well.
I will hear what you have to say.
Like so. How about now? This is Helmgart. It should belong to the Imperials. Oh, wait, it wasn't... Oh, Axebite... I'm just stupid. Oh, if anybody was screaming at the monitor, Axebite Pass is the name of the province, Helmgart is the name of the territory, and my confusion... Really? We have to pay you to give you a tier 4 fort? Carl, don't make the dwarves declare a grudge upon you, man. Come on, man. What is this? Anyway, there we go. A little bit of a switcheroo to start the day. Usually I've been doing this between the episodes, but anyway, we can, I guess, keep Grey Lady Pass and Castle Sanglak to these guys. These guys then have one pass through the mountains, and then Brettonian. You can have Fort Berg-Bray or Fort Berg-Brus, like so, rather than the Imperials. And in this way, all three factions will command at least one of the forts. I like that. I like that a lot. Frankly, it almost makes me want to make or give Kleinland up to Brettonian, but at the same time, it really is something that the Empire should own. And Erlach, Klessen, etc. So Erlach, like so, Klessen, like so, and Breakwater, like so. There we are, and then, I mean, I guess while we're here, well, you know what, let's give them one more turn so that these build up a teensy bit more, and then we'll trade them the remnants of Marienburg. But there we go, the Empire completely now pretty much restored, with the exception of Marienburg. Brettonian restored, whether it be Alberic's territories or whether it be Lewin's territories. Everybody's looking pretty good and happy. The map is nice and painted, just the tiny little bits here, and here are remaining, and I guess right at the edge here. Oh, and of course High Queen Khalida, but you know. Anyway, I believe we're ready to end the turn. We were going to end the turn last time, but there were like a bunch of outposts available. Oh, Heralds of Ariel. What's your capital again? It's something Forest of Size or something like that, right? Oh, you already have an ally. Who the heck is your ally? Oh, it's one of these guys. You know what? I don't care. Outpost here not moved. Outpost upgrade. I don't care. End turn. Well, would you look at that? The Blessed Dread with their garrison army, and then this army, and then this other little army have decided to attack Ungrim Ironfist, though admittedly, I mean, they do have some executioners in there, but this is actually probably weaker than previous armies we've fought. Still, I'd like to give them a chance to fight Ungrim. I don't know where Lokaferlhart himself is, and there's no guarantee he didn't get himself killed by the Sisters of Twilight, so we might as well take the opportunity to fight some of their decent stacks, like so. Go.
On my oath, they die. Will live again.
By your oath, they die? Technically, by your oath, you die, but anyway, here we go. Big old pile of Dark Elves against Ungrim in the underway. Now, Dark Elves probably not feeling super at home, though I do imagine the Black Arcs can be claustrophobic at times, and frankly, Dark Elf cities are designed to be claustrophobic, as they're sort of martial cities with the idea of them all being fortresses. But anyway, well, at the same time, the Dark Elf cities, well, the non-Black Arc cities at the very least, are built by dwarfs. by force, but still built by dwarfs. So anyway, here we go. Unlike last time we fought the Dark Elves, like I said, I like to change up the formation of this army. We're going to Vanguard deploy and rush the enemy army with our Doomseekers to get them into combat fast as they can, face up against some of those Executioners in a pretty darn interesting matchup, and start getting that spin to win up on cooldown. They got to spend 75 seconds in melee to get that Whirlwind of Death, which is a fairly long time. And there we go. The Doomseekers and the Executioners rush each other. And a proper contest between these two melee juggernauts begins. Sadly, the greatest aspect of the Executioners, that being their murderous mastery, which makes them insane, just absolutely insane, is probably one we won't be seeing from these guys because they'll most likely be dead long before that ability activates. Enemy reinforcements, however, are here and plenty more units about to join the fray. The Executioners have lost about, let's say, 80-90% of their HP, while we've lost about, well, 45 to... yeah, about 60% of our HP. I don't know why I said 45. Of our HP to them, which is pretty neat. Granted, the enemy had the Dreadlord to help them out and a few of the other units, but good job to the Executioners. They are still clearly showing that they're very much a threat. It's never interesting if the enemy gets obliterated in melee without being able to do anything whatsoever, right? So good to see that the Executioners can, if not quite fight on par with our super buffed Doomseekers, still. A single unit of Executioners taking 60% of the HP of one unit of Doomseekers is a lot, considering how many reinforcements the enemy are here to bring to bear. On the bright side for us, however, Ungrim's, well, the rest of his army has arrived. Of course, his slow-moving units of Dragon... well, actually, Everguard with shields are still on the way, but his Slayers are opening up the... are opening the way for their king. It looks like the spin-to-wins have at last reached the time of activation. And we start to spin, we start to win. We've torn through 325 Dark Elves so far on the Brotherhood of Grimnir. Looking fantastic, glowing in the underway with those glowing tattoos of theirs, aren't they? And this works really well for this lighting scheme. It's just light enough and just dark enough to make it nice and dramatic. The Mount's power shifts about 90% in our favor, even before Ungrim arrives. And that's, I guess, another benefit of Vanguard deploying the Doomseekers and having them tear through the enemy infantry ranks. Especially considering this particular enemy army didn't have any monsters, so we didn't need the help of the Giant Slayers up front. Which obviously can't Vanguard deploy like the Doomseekers can. Anyway, with that, the enemy army shatters, absolutely torn to shreds, pretty much giving the Doomseekers their time to shine here, all of which took a lot of damage, but did even more damage than they took, which is pretty much exactly what you want and expect from them. Very nice. Alright, there we go. Absolutely brutal. Heavy damage to one of the units of Doomseekers, but by sort of advancing with the Doomseekers first due to their ability to Vanguard deploy, the enemy actually had a chance to obliterate them. Had a chance before the rest of our army arrived. And 551 Dark Elves slain on the Brotherhood of Grimnir. 331 on these Doomseekers as well. And the Honor Seekers, they did okay, but they were on the flank, on the very left flank, and thus these guys, and I believe one of these units was fighting the Doomfire Warlocks and the Cav, rather than the piles of enemy infantry, which obviously didn't give them as much of a chance. Anyway, attract replacements, and nice work, everybody. Oh, 124 on Haskell's finest as well. Not bad, not bad. Anyway, it'll let us attract replacements. Alright, it looks like the Dark Elves of the Thousand Maws have a similar plan as the Blessed Dread to attack us, and here against our Miners army. Should be pretty interesting. We all have the Helmet of Grugny now, the Ever-Burning Light, which will imbue blinded and flaming attacks on, at the very least, our Ironbreakers, but generally speaking, everybody in the army. Should be pretty fun. Miner army, go again. Ooh, gotta watch out for that Medusa. They are so darn irritating. Go.
For the ancestors!
Alrighty, here we go. A little bit more work for Mr. Brock Ironpick and his very, very fun army of miners. I love how many elites the primarily tier 1 army has pickaxed its way through. Now, in terms of how we're doing this particular battle, we've also kind of been switching up the formation of this particular army depending on the particular foes and the particular units that the enemy brings to bear. And in this particular situation, we are going to take a little bit... Okay, we're going to pretend that that's not what we're doing, but we're going to take a little bit of a inspiration from the flying V formations that the orcs are taking, or were taking in the Gorbad Ironclaw campaign. For those that watched it, the Orc Boys, which essentially used flying Vs with the single unit of Black Orcs in the lead, and then 4 units of Orc Boys behind it, such that the most missile damage comes in on the Ironbreakers or Black Orcs and the Thane or Black Orc Big Boss in the front, and the more fragile Orc Boys or Miners are able to move on in. And this allows us to close the distance from various different directions, which is very much needed in this particular situation. While the enemy does have a decent line of melee troops, including some Blackguard of Nagaron, the fact is this enemy army has a ton of range, and what we absolutely need to do is get enough of the end of the miners in to either throw blasting charges or deliver pickaxe to face on all of those range units, such that the dark shards can't rip the miners apart with all that armor-piercing missile damage of theirs. On the bright side, the most damage should be coming down on the leading units under Brock Ironpick himself, which again has that Helmet of Grugny and is thus giving the buff of the minus 15 melee attack and defense on the units that he is near. The blinded contact effect, which is a pretty darn good one. Minus 15 permanently is really quite strong, especially if you mix it with other debuffs. Anyway, it looks like at least that aspect of this particular battle is going exactly as planned, as the vast majority of the enemy army will smash into the leading unit, allowing the other 2 sets to start closing the distance. We've obliterated 1 unit of Dark Riders with the blasting charge volleys, and are starting to close the distance to begin blasting charge volleys into Shades and... there we go, and Shades and Blackguard Corsairs and enemy, well, whatever, Dark Riders, Dark Shards, whatever happens to be firing at us at that particular moment. And in fact, we have to be careful of not doing this too much. See how the Thane tries to close the distance, but the enemy simply backs away from him. While we are reasonably fast here on the non-Thane units, they're still not fast enough to catch the enemy, so it's better to move them up and engage in a shootout, because against relatively fragile missile infantry, the blasting charges will win. A single volley here delivering half of the HP in terms of damage to a Dark Shards unit, and a second volley following up pretty quickly. Now, the units of miners that are in the front of the line are starting to take a fair bit of damage here, especially with Feral Bears, Saber Tusks, and a Medusa fighting. And the Blackguard of Nagaron in there somewhere as well, but that's alright because we got more reinforcements coming in from the 3rd formation. The miners will start again chucking blasting charges at the enemy range units, whether they be these Shades or whether they be the Dark Shards behind them, while the Ironbreakers will actually join the melee rather than chuck the blasting charges by smashing into the enemy back line here. And now trapping the enemy units between 2 of ours. Beautiful. Bounce power is at about, let's say, 65, closing in on 70% in our favor. Brock Ironpick has found the enemy Medusa and will be delivering about 10% of her HP and damage per blow. He's got great melee attack and defense stats, but the Lords don't hit crazy hard at 5 to 600 melee attack. Because generally Dwarfen Lords are, well, the non-Slayer Dwarfen Lords are a little bit more defensive than offensive. Even though they have a great two-hander and plenty of armor piercing, the damage isn't going to be as high as like the 1000 that we can get out of the Demon Slayers or Dragon Slayers. And that's alright. Now we've surrounded the enemy backline with blasting charge, throwing miners. Look at all those blasting charges smash into those poor enemy range units, and that includes the enemy Reaper Bolt Throwers, which are pretty much done for, just like the rest of the enemy range. And it looks like the bounce power is at about 90% in our favor. A couple more volleys, a couple more hits, and the enemy army will begin shattering. Ooh, nice hit from the Thane, crushing 2 feral bears at the same time. Aw, poor little guys. Oh well. And there we go. With that, this Dark Elven force is taken care of with a pretty great work from the Minor army. I've really grown to enjoy this army. Anyway, we'll try to chase at least some of them down because the units will survive, but we probably won't be able to catch too many as this isn't one of our fast-moving armies. But that's all right. I think sufficient amounts of them have been destroyed for them to be weakened enough to be auto-resolved. Alrighty, there we go. You gotta admit that was a pretty darn cool fight. Generally speaking, great suggestions from you guys to build a minor army and then to give the Mads a map as well. I really appreciate that. It worked out nicely as they gave us some fantastic fights. And a great thing about this army is that wherein we fought at Skavenblight and here and other battles, it is an army that is likely to take damage, if not very heavy damage, depending if they get nuked, for example. And that always makes it and keeps it rather interesting. And we were able to power it up with the Mads map, the ever-burning Helmet of Grugni, since, you know, Minor God gets the minor stuff, and then the Scepter of Stone as well. Beautiful. Hey, alright, we gave him a chance, and it looks like Village will take it to attempt to attack Oldest Helheim and his Hammerers and his Gyro Bombers. Interesting, and good to see, considering this was, again, originally Thorgrim's concept, but we've now migrated it to this army, since Thorgrim sort of outgrew the concept, but that doesn't mean that everybody did. Anyway, lovely to see. Village is also very, very hard to kill with, and probably quite annoying to deal with, though we do have a nice 70% spell resistance on our Hammerers at the very least, and 70% on the Gyro Bombers as well. Beautiful. What's the missile resistance on the Hammers? 67 on the standards, and, well, actually, the missile resistance doesn't really matter against the Tzeentch, so quick save, and get ready to go. Alrighty, here we go, and much as I'd hate to say it, the underway does look pretty cool with the Tzeentch lighting, you gotta admit. Anyway, speaking of the underway, while we face off against plenty of Chaos Warriors of Tzeentch, and, well, Village himself leading them, and the Marauders, and the underway battle is, generally speaking, once again, very much in our favor. So, yeah, we spread our Hammerers relatively thin to block off the entire underway as a choke point, and start annoying the enemy army with the machine guns from all of our units of Gyro Bombers. Alright, very nice, very nice. They're not super great at killing off units with a ton of enemy units, but the... yeah, Flying Monstrous Infantry. I was wondering what to call the Screamers, but anyway. And they should be able to gun them down with a reasonable quickness. Just gotta basically knock out any anti-air units and range units that could be of any kind of threat to our gyro bombers before we switch to the other stuff. Plus, annoy the enemy army, generally speaking, to move towards us. Though they did attack us anyway, so I think they would move towards us anyway. Unless they bug out and decide to sit there. You never know. But either way, gives us a little bit of time to work on all those enemy range units. The Marauder Horsemen of Tzeentch are not to be underestimated. They're pretty darn decent at damage dealing with that Warpstone application, the anti-large, on those javelins of theirs. And while, once again, this isn't really what the units of gyro bombers are good at, they should still be able to work through the Tzeentchian horses fairly quick. Especially considering they have support from 2 engineers, and the 2 engineers do have brimstone guns, which will sort of travel through and penetrate several units of enemies at once. Alright, and there we go. The enemy is at last annoyed. We'll continue working on the newly arriving anti-air units, but the rest of the enemy army shall start making its way towards us. I do love seeing those machine guns fire, though, I gotta say. And they're pretty entertaining. I like listening to them, too. Alright, and there we go. The Marauder horses are out. Are there any more left here that could threaten these guys out? There's a couple more over on this side from this particular newly arrived army. Well, there will be none soon enough, as there's just not enough of them, and they don't do enough damage to really threaten our gyro bombers anymore. What do we have here? 62% missile resistance, plus 24% ward save, and 5% physical resistance on top of 172 armor. Their individual HP isn't that high, at only 6,000, but they've got a ton of resistances, and the gyro blanks are just generally difficult to hit whilst floating around because they're not super stable in the air. The sort of hovering that they do, and anytime they get staggered by getting attacked, they really sort of wave around in the air or wiggle around in the air, and it makes it difficult to hit them, generally speaking. Yes, yes. Now is the season of your discontent. But anyway, the gyro bombers clear out the last of the Marauder horses, and it looks like the last of the range threats to them are done. We are free to drop bombs upon the enemy as we please. Though that's going to have to wait at least a little bit while we allow the enemy to close the distance with our hammerers and start the fight. And if you're wondering why I deployed here, I'd say there's 2 reasons. The one reason is, of course, that the enemy has to climb the hill to get to us. We have elevation advantage, but the biggest reason by far is the fact that we have a light area here on the map. While this isn't admittedly the darkest of the underway battles, or just generally the darkest battle in the first place, it's still nice to actually see your units, your melee units especially, in proper action. The enemy vanguard will be a bunch of doggos, which we've seen many a time attempt to charge hammerers and get absolutely crushed in the attempt, followed by tons and tons of units, spearmen or various marauder types, together with Forsaken Chaos Trolls. I saw some Chaos Spawn there as well. And there we go. I did say we have spread our units of hammerers pretty thin, which is definitely the case, and they're looking like they're very much getting overrun in terms of sheer numbers, but certainly not outfought. We buff them up with the Master Rune of Oath and Steel, which counteracts the sundering of their armor and gives them a massive increase in terms of melee defense as well. We do have 3 Rune Lord and Rune Smiths in this army, which explains why we can essentially apply this buff to every unit across the entire battle line. And once that's up and the cooldown is up as well, we can simply drop the Rune of Speed and they'll start having them hit harder. Not that I think that too many of the enemies in this particular battle line have the advent of too much in the way of melee defense, so it's not going to be too big of a deal. Anyway, our gyro bombers have completed annoying some of the enemy over on one side of the map and have moved on in to start dropping those bombs along the enemy line. There we go. A very, very nice bombing run. That's 9 bombs, that's 12 bombs, and over on the left flank, the enemy is destroyed, absolutely destroyed. We've got 32,000 damage, 34,000 damage, and 39,000 damage. Same thing is repeating itself here. While the hammer has held them off, the bombing run completes the battle. And the entire enemy army, just like that, will, by the looks of it, start to shatter. There we go, and that includes Village himself. As soon as those bombs dropped, the enemy was done. Village basically completely unharmed. We couldn't even get through his barrier, but Village is one of the tankiest lords in the game. He's actually absolutely insane, especially when he continues to cast throughout the battle and continues to make use of his barrier backup thing. Oh wow, look at that. Huh, he has like no regeneration. Huh. Interesting. It looks like his army, I guess the AI probably didn't do this on purpose, but yeah, look at that. He seems to have no actual recharge delay. It says 30 seconds, but the recharge happens immediately. I wonder if it's a bug or whether it's actually something, because we can see recharge delay says 30 seconds, but it starts recharging immediately, and it's making it very hard to bring him down. But anyway, he will just manage to escape out of there, but that's alright because his army is destroyed anyway, but still, very, very nice. A lovely fight, great work to the Gyro Bombers, great work to hold this in general. Alright, there we go. He may be oldest, but he's not too old to give the young'uns a good thrashing. The army of Village was obliterated. Village, though it took us just so much effort to actually chase him down and kill him. Yeah, I wanted an alternative timeline where a Village was unable to take command or control of his strong brother's body. What kind of champion his brother would have become, left to his own devices. Anyway, yeah, enemy is destroyed. Of course, some of them will revive, etc., since we're just outside the enemy settlement, but still, great job to Oldus's army, and as we can see, Thorgrim's original concept does work very well, whether it be with the combination of bomber damage into bombs, or whether it be the hammerers bonking enemies apart. Lovely work. Alright, Tunneler, Grimly, Coral, Seeker, good. Alright, Conjoined, Separated, good. That's actually a great defeat trait. Sacrifice to Mathan performed. Razor Standard, Biting Blade. Oh, stolen from the enemy. Yeah. Alright, every time a non-blue item, it weirds me out. Stone Mason, Dwarfen Tattooist, Talisman, yada. Nothing important so far other than Conjoined, Separated. And Poxmakers of Nurgle destroyed. It looks like magic drained. Oh no, guys, what are we gonna do? Our magic's been drained. Albian Outpost construction, a new regional power. Well, we did just restore the lands of men. In fact, I guess since this is literally the last territory that we have to give to restore the lands of men, so let's do it right now. Alrighty, ally begins. Okay, all of the allies are beginning outpost construction, some plagues. Alright, so Palispert, Sweeduck. Alright, let's see. I'm not gonna remember them all anyway, so you don't need to declare war on anybody now. One, and I already forgot them. Alright. And then Elf Town, and then whatever else it was. You could just have Elf Town, I don't care. And lastly, what was it again? Temple something. Alright, Temple... yes. Beautiful. Alright, there we go. With that, the lands of men are well and truly restored. Just in case they're bankrupt, I'm just going to... I mean, they shouldn't be, considering how much money we've given them, but... I just want to make sure that they can actually build some stuff there, especially defenses. It's unlikely that a rebellion happens, but it is still a distinct possibility. Especially now that we've restored the Empire, the Imperial Authority is +2. When we started, I believe it was -4, or whatever it was. How are you still negative public order in bloody Altdorf, man? Come on. Don't screw this up. Seriously. You have a bonus public order now from all that. No, look at that. Karl Franz decided to set sail. A little bit too late, but nonetheless, it's the thought that counts, I guess. You, follower, can move to Monolith of Airlock. And then Reclaimer Stronghold can move past it. Frankly, up here would be a good place to go, though. Okay, 1 second. 1 second. Oh, I'm surprised that Bellicor didn't attack us. He had the opportunity. I guess he was too afraid of the Knights Errant or the Grail Guardians. Well, perhaps unsurprising. Alrighty, as they're certainly worthy of fear. Anyway, a Reclaimer Stronghold. Now, I guess the question is whether we go down to Bjornling's Gathering or whether we give chase to Jesha here. The thing is, well, we do have this army. It's kind of nearby, and we can in fact move you to Draumere Valley should we desire to do so. Either way, I think we will send Thugni of Zor— Oh, you can't reach this place. Huh. Are you telling me that nobody can reach this place other than Ungrim? Oh, that's a little bit annoying. I didn't want him to— Okay, what about if you set sail and then try to land? Maybe. Give it a try, Reclaimer Helldower. I'm all in on this, so come on and— Yes, well done, Helldower. Yeah, okay, we've gotten so much mileage out of you. Beautiful. Occupy. And this way, Ungrim can move without worrying about the others, generally speaking. And I guess we'll send one of them to Draumere Valley. Ungrim can't reach— Oh, we have Swenem ourselves. Which is also good. I should probably delete this and build a military structure. That might not matter. Anyway, let's do this. Ungrim, you'll chase down Sid, and then you'll proceed this way. Not resolve. It's Chenhild's monoliths that we really want / needs, the main, thing. Up here, it's the main reason we're up here. If we didn't have a legendary grudge to do with it, we wouldn't have bothered. Reclaimer, get gold. There was another black arc here. Oh, it's right beside this place, beside Troll Fjord, though I'm willing to bet we won't be able to do anything about it unless— Would you be able to— Ah, okay, so you are going to go to Troll Fjord. Mr. Reclaimer Silverhorn, you, Reclaimer Hammerfist, are going to go right beside him, like so, and reinforce, and then we'll take the opportunity to— Maybe look here, Felhard is dead after— Oh, you're no longer able to reach this? Oh, wait. Yeah, there we go. This guy was in the way. Come on, man. Don't do this to me, man. Auto resolve. Beautiful. Nobody's damaged. Well, why would anybody be damaged on a ungarrisoned little location? Then Reclaimer Hammerfist can go after you through the port. Like so. And you— Oh, you have nowhere to run. Oh, you poor Black Ark. Goodbye. Auto resolve. Beautiful. Then, can you turn back— You can turn back around and kill Sharkia here, because I imagine that Ungrim can't reach it. Alright, fine, I guess we'll send Ungrim to Draumere Valley then. Go into March stance, because I'd actually prefer Jesha to move up here. Although, wait, actually, she'd run from him anyway. Mostly, I would prefer if she would take one of these settlements, but I'm wondering whether we can move Reclaimer Stronghold. You know what? We can chance it. We'll move Reclaimer Stronghold here, but if Jesha moves back towards Moneth of Airlock, then we'll just move them back as needed. It's not like these guys aren't completely screwed anyway. That means we can move Reclaimer Hammerfist to reclaim this territory, and by reclaim I mean kill Jesha, Sharkia, whatever. Auto resolve. Beautiful, and Norska is nearly done for. Alright, like so. Ranger Standard, and then— Are you actually able to take Chenhild's monoliths? I assume that you are, so go here. And hopefully you can land and attack it immediately, because we're about to find out. It's not a main settlement, so it shouldn't be too concerning. And, you're out of range. I guess I should have tried landing on this side. But oh well, not a big deal. It's one more turn. It's not like the grudge will be completed as soon as we take it anyway. Oh. Huh. This place— Damn, there's no, like, big settlement to guard the entrance from the Realm of Chaos, but that'll be Ashiotla's job. In fact, whoever's up here will declare war on and then give Ashiotla a settlement to, follow that, as in also declare war, and then maybe he could just sit there and fight them endlessly, which we're doing on every corner of the map, essentially. Beautiful. Alrighty, and we'll auto-resolve this for obvious reasons. And oh, I just realized we have hit 4 million. Okay, fine. We are... we're 33 gold short of 4 million. 3999967. Oh. Actually, we're 2 gold short of ideal. But anyway, Engineer's Knapsack, Brewmaster, Oldest Elheim. Chase and kill, please. Village has been defeated. Oh, and this also means we can give up Greyling Moot and the other place to the lizards. I'll do that between the episodes. It's all good. And then you can occupy Sortvenair Hall and move on to Val Fortress. Oh, if I had known you were still here, I would have chased you down, sir. I wonder why this was a ruin still. Either way, we can move up here and then de-chaosify it for the coming of the lizards, who will hopefully be pretty happy about the whole situation. Anyway, there we go. Looking pretty good, and oh right, all of you guys who couldn't move where I wanted you to move, I guess you're going to march stance this. Oh wow, you can't march stance that far. Alright, so go here. I guess, go here. Soon these guys will be able to stop moving or otherwise be deleted as well as soon as we're done with this particular location. I don't think they're going to be needed on Albion because we have other new arrivals. Speaking of, Mr. Be'lakor, he raised the Pillar of Ogagog, but he foolishly is in march stance, meaning Hagenmore Ironpick will be able to hunt him down. I'm not entirely sure what Hivald is doing, but, well, they had their chance to attack us. It's time for the knights and the slayers to do their work. There we go, and it is Be'lakor, and there's a decent likelihood that we will never see him again, as his faction will probably be overrun with, you know, pretty quickly. We're going to fight this and enjoy it. Enjoy it, damn you. Anyway, Wailing Banner on... Wait, did these guys cause fear? No, no fear and no terror. Alright, well, I feel like they deserve to cause some fear and terror. Let's put it on the Grail... I'm gonna say Knights rather than the Guardians, because these guys are rank 7, and they've earned it. Go.
Trolls, giants, dragons, a greater demon or two. Let's see what surprises today holds.
Alrighty, here we go. At long last, our slayers have arrived at the Albian Bowl, probably having heard tales of it, and how it's a great place to go a-slayerin' for quite a while. For 100 and, what are we at, 26 turns, the Albian Bowl has gone unabated between the factions there. But I think we're here to turn the tide. And on top of that, we've got Grail Knights and Grail Guardians, which are always just wonderful to see. Their charges are fantastic. They've got a lot of mass and charge bonus, and both of them are pretty darn entertaining. The first charge will be directly through a unit of Forsaken over on the right flank. And then through some doggos and through another unit of Forsaken as well. And as long as you keep these guys moving, they can keep constantly charging, should they desire to do so. Though well, to a lesser degree, the Grail Knights, but the Grail Guardians can just stay in combat because they're not shock cav. But frankly, the Grail Knights, the regular Grail Knights, are pretty solid at it as well. Be'lakor is moving on, and he's taken about 30% of his HP so far in damage and is slowed down quite a bit to 7 move speed. Frostbite, Flash Bomb, Maim, Chilling Aura, and he is down to half of his HP. Oh wow, he had 18,000. He had a lot more HP than I was expecting. Good for him. Anyway, our Giant Slayers were running around trying to shadow Be'lakor, but if he's not going to land, if he just wants to die in the sky, that's his business. There we go. Down he comes, gets a couple of whacks away at us before being torn to shreds by our Slayers. I do like all that shadow around him. And he landed a little bit too late to save his Chaos Sorcerer and such. He's got 1600 HP and a couple more volleys will bring him down. In the meantime, our units of Grail Knights and Guardians have obliterated a unit of Chariots, are in the process of trashing a unit of Chaos Spawn, and over on the left flank have done the same thing to several other units as well. We see a fallen Chaos Manticore. And they give chase to the Marauders, which have absolutely no chance here. It looks like with that, the enemy army very, very quickly shatters. Admittedly, being in march stance meant that they were already pretty screwed. I just have a few more hits with Lance and with Sword against the last remaining Chaos Spawn. And the battle will be ours. Gotta love all the different heraldry on the Brettonian units as well. And those fantastic glowing lances. Beautiful. With that, the last of the enemy units are done. Be'lakor's army is done, and the battle is ours. Gonna get one last charge in on them to, you know, run down a few trolls, even though we don't need to, with Be'lakor in march stance. Just wanted a couple more seconds of work for the Grail Knights. Hopefully we can have this army besiege Nagranath or another tier 5 settlement on Albion and get one more fight at least out of these guys. There we go. Maybe we're having a little bit of a contest who could bring the last troll down. Alright, there we go. 17 losses, pretty darn minimal, and the majority of those were the Slayer Pirates who were forward deployed. Sorry, Be'lakor. Great job, obviously, and unsurprisingly, to the Grail Knights. 19,000 damage, 8, 10, and 13. Pretty darn solid. And actually, by and large, outkilling the Slayers, with a couple of the exceptions in the Doomseekers, which were able to mince infantry faster than at least some of the Knights. Well done, but they do work very nicely together. I love it. Alright. And with that, Be'lakor falls. We get Bell of the Ball on Mr. Hegenbor Ironpick, which is a great defeat trait. The Winds of Magic may be useless to us, but even without it, the weapon strength and the casualty replenishment is good. We can't reach Hivold, so we'll just grab Pillar of Ogagog here and trade it to whoever it is that we please. Alright. Build it up. Don't collect income. We should probably knock out these stupid Tzeentch rebels here, as they will continue annoying our Imperial and other friends. Oh, we should also grab Bola Hat for these guys. You know what? Joseph, you can do that. So, march stance here, get ready to proceed. You should be able to heal in friendly territory. And then Mr. Follower Skolson can't land, but that's alright. They can't attack you in the sea anyway. And there we go. We've arrived in Albion, which is pretty nice. Now, who here has not completed moving? Reclaimer Hammerfist, you need to continue onward to the north, I guess. Still need to grab a few of the locations out here, if nothing else. I know that should be pretty done quick. Frankly, these guys I might just change into Coast Guards, and I mean, we should probably park them here, because this is the way, and this is the way that enemies would be able to get to us, but we can park the Knights. I guess we could just take Drifting Castle ourselves and park the Knights here and leave them there to train themselves by, you know, banishing demons. In theory. By then the campaign will be over, but, you know, in theory. Anyway, we got 2 turns until... Wait, did I move? Yes. We got 2 turns until we're ready to use the Underway network, which I think there was something I wanted to move, but I will double check what it is later. Anyway, you. Keep traveling. And I believe I wanted to get Elmador Deepbrow into this army, so you... Actually, who's the lowest level thing? We got 34, 33, 31. Ah, 31, eh? Alright, so 31. You're out. Just because of that. I'm sorry, my friend. Couldn't hammer fist. Nothing, nobody. Lose your items. I guess what I could have done is just transferred him to another army. Well, it's too late now because he can't move. Damn. Okay, you go this way. I'm just trying to get these guys up here somewhere where they might be able to do something. Anyway, Reclaimer Grimson, you can reach Fort Dervengard, so go there, please. Any Archaon there? No, I don't see no Archaon. And then you can proceed, I don't know, up to Beacon, I guess. There's Archaon. Oh, he hasn't had the time to rebuild his army, eh? That's unfortunate for him. Reclaimer Grimson, take this. And take damage to your cannon, because of course. And there we go. Maybe Archaon just revived, and then he should still have then a full stack running around up in the north somewhere. Not where we are, but, you know, we'll find it. I'm sure we will. Anyway, you guys, I guess you can move to Tong Hall and then back this way to Bloodhaven while Thorek takes Gallows Tree. Like so. And... okay, why did you both stop? Were you both told to stop? No. Occupy. And there we go, there's the 4 million that we were looking for. Forest of Gallows is done. Go for the Venerate the Ancestors, Tong Hall. You're next, and oh, you're actually quite damaged. This isn't Tamarkan, is it? Alright, so 31. 31, eh? Alright, 31, yeah. You're out. Just because of that. I'm sorry, my friend. Couldn't hammer fist. Nothing, nobody. Lose your items. I guess what I could have done is just transferred him to another army. Nope, it's just Wartborg the Mephitic. You cannot resolve this, and just hope that you aren't so damaged that Wartborg can immediately summon a full stack next turn and kill you, which is a possibility. Well, good luck. Anyway. It's not like it matters. Gallows Tree, did I? Yes, I did. Did I? Okay, no. Alright, who do we have here? So, Antiro is still there. Oh, would you look at that? There were 3 armies belonging to the western provinces there, and Antiro killed them all. Well done. Well done indeed. Malachi, move up here. Get ready to kill him. Oh wow, he barely took damage doing it. Yeah, it's because the Nurglites are cheating, and they can immediately summon Chosen, Rot Knights, Chaos Knights, all their elites basically, in a single turn without caring for the ability to, you know, the way that the Nurglites recruit, so yeah. They're not using it, as we found out. So it explains why that's the way it is. Oh right, these places aren't chaos. Well, actually, there's still chaotic wasteland, so we probably still suffer attrition. Jargard, you know what? With these 2 moving up there, I don't think you're needed up there, so you can go here, and you can rest besides the mosque in case somebody else attacks these places. There we go. All right, so these places have also been restored. We still have another endless... Oh, look at that. The Ironskins have managed to capture a settlement. This stalemate has been going on for a long, long time. We were essentially pitting the ogres against the Slaneshi here, and I was wondering whether it would be an eternal fight, but kind of interesting. Anyway, Joseph of Zorn, I would like you to at least march up here to Kolgazar. I think all you can do is land, most likely. You can't reach it. Oh, you can reach it. Well then. Go up here.
Shoulder axes, lads. We move.
And then obviously kill them. There's nothing they could do about it. Declare war. Hire allies to help. I wonder if this is the last Chaos Dwarf faction remaining on the entire map. We are... yeah, we're not fighting this. This is garbage. But we can certainly use that petroleum, so occupy. And then I'm hoping that there's a better stack over in the main settlement to delete this, collect the income, because we're keeping it. Alrighty, we're actually going to have to fortify it because there's a bunch of demonic factions here nearby anyway, and, well, that's life. Reclaimer Grimson, you are moving down here, wherein you will attack Lamia. Stochel Gundrickson. Ooh. We have walls here at SF's Key? We do not. We have High Queen Khalida. Ooh, okay, you know what? I think maybe this one we'll save for the next episode. It's going to be a big major fight, and I'd love to save it. And just to guarantee a good fight in the next episode. And yeah, oh, that's going to be a toughie for you, sir. I don't even know if he can survive this. His army isn't really built for this sort of thing. It's built to knock down big old single entities, not mobs of, you know, tons of different types of enemies. Or giant piles of infantry either, which is interesting. Well... he's already killed Imric, so he's served his purpose, and if he should find his doom, then, well, he is a slayer after all. And is that the Southern World? There we go. Southern World's Edge Mountains secured. The Hall of the Ancestors, birthplace of the Dwarfs, beginning to be constructed as well. And you can get a mine here and then delete these things. I don't know why I'm bothering to still build the buildings, but you know, it's the principle of the thing. We still have a few turns to go after all. Also, how are our Shrines of Smednir doing? Just out of curiosity, we are at 17 missile resistance. I don't know how much of that is from Shrines of Smednir and how much is from... oh, actually, I do know something. You should have 15, so we have 17 from Shrines. Wait, that's not possible. It's by multiples of 2, isn't it? Oh, but then plus 50. Yeah, all right, fine. That's fine. Everything's fine. Nobody panic. We're good. Anyway. Looks like... oh. You give chase to this guy, then. And then we're not moving you down here. We gotta destroy these guys anyway, and we decided to send Belagar this way. Alright, so you're gonna run, I assume? Belagar, can you jump over to wherever this place is? You done moving? And yes, you can. Alright, you can take the Sphinx of Fa, and then you can chase down and destroy this little army. We're not fighting this one because, you know, it's basically similar to Manfred's, and it's too weak to bother with. Alright, and then Thorgrim... oh, that took us just to the attrition territory, but you recover some of your movement range. Beautiful. Go here. Go to the Canal of Abundance, wherein you're... Huh. Why don't we suffer attrition here? Oh, we're immune to vampiric attrition now because of the tombs, the Silver Pinnacle tombs. Fantastic. That worked out. I was worried that by moving there we would have gotten to the... that. Once again, a shame that the billion undead didn't spawn, but again, I've already done it in another campaign, so not a big deal. You and you are going to move up here because I'd like you to go through to Athaloran, should it be required. Mornguard, Whitebeard, Jarguard. Yeah, you guys obviously don't need to move, don't need to move, don't need to move. Alright, back to what's going on down here. At least for a bit. So Belagar has moved. These guys have taken Skithin's Oasis, but the corruption is still fairly corrupty there, which ain't so great. You, I guess, can move through this territory to help decorruptify it. At least a bit. Before we transfer, and then I guess Skag Ulfraner can do so as well. Plus he has the anti-plague thing, so good for him. And it's not like there's anything else to do up here other than to take the Valley of Locusts. And we've destroyed the Skaven here, so Groth Baruch, I would like you to... yeah, just jump. Oh, wow, okay, that sounds good. I admit I was not expecting that. A Reclaimer. I guess you're going to be needed down here. These guys will most likely try to reclaim themselves some of these territories. Muster the Throng, you can... I mean, technically you're not really needed anymore. Yep, goodbye. Reset in case we need you again. Which I doubt, but you know, just in case. Alrighty, and we need to move Reclaimer Baruch down here. We need to move Dwinbar Ranulfson over to Cliffs of Dawn. You know, go right at the edge of this, because then you can reach it and then still... Oh, you're effectively at full HP anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And I believe we are immune to Mountain Pass attrition as well. Alright, still a few territories remaining to the Mahrak Tomb Kings, who may attempt to defend, but, well, we saw what happens. They're not going to succeed either way. Alright, I believe there's no other armies down here, unfortunately, so nobody else to send to help with this, but Belagar and these guys should be able to handle it. Minus you, Grothbarak, being damaged and potentially getting attacked, but it is what it is. Thorgrim, rather. You're moving to the Black Pyramid of Nagash, where you will end your campaign. I'm gonna keep Heragrundadrak here in case the orcs get ideas and we have to defend against them, but otherwise we're okay. Aha, what do we... Oh, there's a frickin' Black Ark out here. Okay, we actually have to chase it down. This faction can't be destroyed until they're all dead. Unfortunate as that may be. Right beside this little island here. I wonder if it's Noctilus there. I guess we're about to find out, because we gotta chase the Black Ark. I wonder if we are about to get faction encountered. Who's here? Oh, for the love of Cav. I just wanted to see who was there, game. That's all, that's all. Heal. And we have... World Walk. Oh! Huh, I don't expect that. Alrighty, go here. I guess we don't want them retaking out Wulfric himself. Oh, sneaky, Wulfric, sneaky. Scav Holdfast, I guess you can sit on this island and end your campaign here. While we don't really care or want the jungles, we can build a ranger camp here and then have a big sort of view of everything around it in case somebody tries to come here. You... Brock Ironpick, after that fantastic fight, will kill off the rest of the enemies here and occupy the place. A lovely work, and then we can... Well, I guess we'll leave upgrading this for now, and obviously don't collect the income because we're not looking to keep it. Last Skaven faction on the map, unless I'm mistaken, is right here. We're going to Scab Reach, and they might attack us out of here because it should be their tier 5 garrison plus a full army. So they've got a shot, if nothing else. Oh, right, I forgot about this. Warvor, you can't reach Reyes. And I went, why don't you just take Reyes, dude? Useless. Oh, Wulfric was well, not Wulfric, Boris was an amazing ally in this campaign, but everybody else, not super useful. I mean, admittedly, at the end there, Carl did start doing things, so that was good for him. At the very least. And would you look at that? Schmidt's Renegades, two ships floating around out there. Might get a battle out of them for Mr. Morgestringer and his Iron Slayers. I would like that. If nothing else. And then we'll make you go to kill this guy's story. Oh, we actually do also have somebody... Oh, there's another little Schmidt's Renegades army out here. Huh. Interesting. You go here. We'll obviously auto-resolve this. It's better not damage us. 3 losses. Okay, we can recover that completely. And there's a garrison, a fully elite garrison at Bilbali, which we can draw out. They've got a Black Dragon, they got Cold One Dread Knights, 2 War Hydras, Executioners, Blackguard of Nagaron. Man, once again, the garrisons of Dark Elves are absolutely insane. But yeah, definitely something we'll want to do. Miros is also tier 5 settlement. I don't know whether you'll be able to auto-resolve it. What I would like to see is if we move you to reinforce here. Let me just see here. Burnoth Barak, can you auto-resolve this now? Okay, wait, if you move here. Because this might save us some time. Yes, you can. Auto-resolve this. A little bit of damage on the cannons, but it's fine. Sack it. Then, now that you have sacked it, I would like you to... Ah, damn. I was hoping he could go through it and reach Reyes, which he cannot, unfortunately. Well, it does mean, however, that the enemy likely... Oh, actually he can. He just wanted to travel through the settlement. Beautiful. Well done. And Clanish and destroyed... Oh, this is a ruin. I thought it was a settlement. Oh, and I yelled at Tehedowin for nothing. Oh, I'm sorry, little guy. I didn't mean to yell at you. Anyway, there we go. We'll just trade this to Tehedowin and then move you, I guess, to take Pina. Oh, wow. No, you won't be able to auto-resolve that. Not with this army. It'll just... I mean, you would be able to fight it with great ease, but you wouldn't be able to auto-resolve it because of reasons. Anyway, War of War. What's the best way to do this? I doubt that you can auto-resolve it. I guess we could give them a chance to attempt to attack us. It is a pretty decent settlement, after all. Oh, actually, it would allow us to auto-resolve it. I'll think about it. Considering how many of these types of fights we still have, in the sense that every single tier 5 settlement belonging to the Dark Elves has the same big garrison. There's another one right here. That would mean... I don't know if it's worth our time, our effort. Scaff, you will take out Wulfric the Wanderer. I wonder if this is his last territory. Yep, that it is. I didn't even realize we hadn't wiped him out by taking out all his territories, but it's, I don't know, it's pretty neat, I think, that he retreated to an island like that. You can go to Athaloran now. You're not needed here anymore. And we've traded Mount Zardella to these guys. We just have to trade the rest of these mountains to the Lizards, and then the rest of this to Imperials and Southern Realmers. And then nice. Alrighty, and honestly, I don't remember who still needed to move this turn. I do know that we still need to do building, and yeah, you know what? I think there's probably a little bit of admin left. I'm gonna double check it and then move whoever needs to be moved and then do the admin and then end the episode here, and then when we come back next time, we will start the episode out by ending the turn, at which point we will get attacked in at least, I think, 3 places for a few nice battles. Oh, and we can start, I guess, the episode off with this fight with Story Azrael, which would be pretty nice, you gotta admit. And it's gonna be a very tough one too, but at last he'll actually get to employ those Quarrelers with great weapons in actual proper combat. I should also finish up giving these guys items. Anyway, so calling it here. Next time we fight some more, and we might actually be able to finish up here, and well, we probably won't finish up here, but in Norska, yes, very much so. Just a couple more moves, and the Blessed Dread and the Scourgeborn will be out of the picture. So I think that will be that'll be pretty nice. Anyway, stay tuned for a few more Dwarf Eps. All glory to the algorithm. Likes and comments below, and thanks for watching.